Do you know someone who has had a baby through fertility, treatment, or surrogacy? Hi, I'm Simon Dippenaar and I'm a family attorney. Fertility issues are far from rare. The World Health Organization estimates that 1 in 6 adults experiences infertility. So we all probably know someone who has undergone artificial insemination or IVF, though we might not be aware of it. It is naturally a private matter. The first baby born by IVF was Louise Brown in the UK in 1978. Before that, adoption was the only alternative for infertile couples. But surrogacy is less common than conventional IVF and more controversial. If you are considering surrogacy, what do you need to know? Surrogacy in South Africa is primarily governed by the Children's Act. The Act provides a comprehensive legal framework outlining the rights of the parties involved as well as the legal process. It contains several sections that pertain directly to surrogacy agreements. The agreement must be the only reasonable way the commissioning parents can have a child who is genetically theirs. The agreement must be in writing and signed by all parties. The High Court must confirm the surrogacy agreement. It must be satisfied that all conditions in the Act have been met and the agreement is in the best interests of the child. Now, you may have seen dramas from the US involving commercial surrogacy, the payment of a fee for carrying the baby. This is illegal in South Africa. Only altruistic surrogacy is permitted. In other words, a surrogate mother cannot be paid for her service beyond reasonable compensation for expenses. There are certain conditions that must be satisfied for a surrogacy to be legally permissible. The commissioning parents and the surrogate must be domiciled in South Africa. The surrogate must have had at least 1 successful pregnancy. The surrogate must have the written consent of her partner if she is in a relationship. The reason for surrogacy must be valid, such as infertility, risk of transmission of genetic disorders, or other condition that prevents the commissioning parents from bearing a child. At least one of the commissioning parents must be genetically related to the child. Donor egg or sperm may be used if the mother is unable to use her eggs or if the father is infertile. After the child's birth, the commissioning parents are immediately recognized as the legal parents of the child in the case of gestational surrogacy. Gestational surrogacy is where the commissioning parents are the biological parents. In traditional surrogacy, the surrogate's egg is fertilized by the commissioning father's sperm, making the surrogate the biological mother of the child. The commissioning parents are not granted full legal rights to the child in traditional surrogacies under South African law. For this reason, although traditional surrogacy is not illegal, most fertility clinics strongly discourage it. The surrogate mother in gestational surrogacy has no rights or obligations to the child, and the child's birth certificate will reflect the names of the commissioning parents. The legal process starts with a comprehensive surrogacy agreement, which must be confirmed by the High Court before conception can take place. The court assesses medical reports, psychological evaluations of the surrogate, and a statement of the financial implications of the agreement, among other things, to evaluate if the agreement is in the best interest of the child. The following steps must be completed for court approval. Prepare the necessary documents. This includes the written surrogacy agreement and a report from the offices of the family advocate, along with those I just mentioned. Once the documents are submitted, the High Court assesses whether all the conditions set out in the Act have been met. The commissioning parents and the surrogate may be required to appear in court. If the court is satisfied that the surrogacy is in the best interest of the child to be born, it will confirm the agreement. Once the court has confirmed the agreement, the process of artificial fertilization can begin. The surrogacy agreement is a legal document that details the obligations and rights of all parties involved, including the surrogate mother, her partner if any, and the parents. Here's what the surrogacy agreement does. It clearly identifies all the parties involved in the surrogacy agreement. It includes written consent to the surrogacy by the surrogate mother and her partner, if applicable. It also describes the rights and responsibilities of each party. It contains a detailed account of all anticipated expenses related to the pregnancy. It unequivocally declares that the intended parents will be the legal parents of the child with sole custody and decision-making rights. It may include a clause requiring the surrogate to maintain the confidentiality of all information related to the surrogacy. It outlines the circumstances under which the agreement may be terminated and the legal implications of such termination. And it stipulates the process to be followed in case of a dispute. The court process can be time-consuming and requires patience from all parties. Legal advice is strongly advised. A legal professional who has experience in surrogacy law will ensure all legal requirements are met. If you are considering surrogacy or want to discuss your options, get in touch with me on the number below. I'll walk you through the process.